Today we'll be looking at changes being made in various sectors to create more sustainable, productive and profitable industries. All I need is 30 minutes of your time. Hi, I'm Adrian Atkinson and you're tuned in to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. We'll meet up after the news.
Jamaica welcomes delegates and stakeholders attending the 6th Biennial Diaspora Conference, now on at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Jamaica and the diaspora, linking for growth and prosperity. Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, June 17. In the wake of passing its 8th IMF test, Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips is asserting that government cannot afford to abandon its program to reform the Jamaican economy. The minister made the assertion during a national broadcast on the economy Tuesday night.
In the process of successfully passing these tests, we have rescued the economy from near collapse and earned the respect of our international partners.
He pointed to lower inflation and interest rates, a competitive exchange rate, increased foreign direct investment, and less reliance on borrowing as evidence that the country's finances are now in much better shape. The finance minister also addressed public sector demands for higher wages, saying government has offered what it can pay and could not afford to erode the debt reduction gains made so far.
We need to remind ourselves that it was the unsustainable level of debt built up over 40 years that brought us to the brink of bankruptcy and made the economic reform program indispensable to our nation's survival. While we appreciate the demand for a higher rate of wage increases at this time, we simply cannot afford it. We would lose all the gains that the country has made thus far.
In the meantime, the finance minister announced that 2 local resorts are close to being granted casino licenses as government seeks to add to Jamaica's tourism offerings. Minister Phillips said Cabinet had given approval for Harmony Cove Limited and Celebration Jamaica Development Limited to be given provisional development orders as approved integrated resort developers. This status is a precursor to the granting of a casino license.
We confidently expect that this will lead to a strengthening of the tourism industry's competitiveness and the bolstering of economic development through job creation, increased tax revenue, and additional demand for locally produced goods and services.
Harmony Cove and Celebration Jamaica will be building 2,000 hotel rooms each starting mid-2016. Both companies will be creating more than 6,000 jobs during and after construction. One entrepreneur is commending the government for improving the business environment and supporting the small business sector.
I'm actually very impressed with how the Jamaican government, how they have really rallied around small and medium enterprise companies like myself and try to find grants for us, try to find inroads into markets all over the world for us, and that's very good for us.
Mrs. Palmer Davis was speaking in an interview with JIS News at the Jamaica Diaspora Conference being held in Montego Bay. She is among hundreds of business people and overseas-based Jamaicans attending the 6-day conference. GSAT results are in and most students were placed in schools of their choice.
73% of all GSAT placements involve one of the preferred schools that the child or their parent put down. Yes, 73%. 9,486, or approximately 25% of the students, have been placed on the grounds of proximity either to the primary school where they attended or to the homes, the addresses that they gave.
The Education Minister also revealed that students improved their performance in 4 of the 5 GSAT subjects. The GSAT results were distributed to the Ministry's regional offices and schools this afternoon. 37,575 students sat the exam. 33,546 of them were placed in high schools, 3,177 in technical schools, 836 in primary and junior highs, and 15 in special schools. No student was placed in an all-age or private institution. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry will be providing additional support to schools' math programs. There was a 3.7% decline in mathematics grades in this year's GSAT. To reverse that going forward, the ministry will continue its interventions to place greater emphasis on students understanding the underlying concepts.
The Ministry of Education has begun a solid program of upgrading and coaching teachers of mathematics. You won't see the results of that effort that began last September immediately.
We're trying to be more consistent and deliberate, and the approaches we have been using that we found to be successful will be the similar approaches that we will apply.
And finally, the Education Ministry is currently in discussion with the Ministry of Finance to take funds from its budget to supplement the base salaries of teachers.
What we have said to the negotiating team, to the Ministry of the Public Service, is if we can assist in improving some of the particular allowances and perquisites outside of the base salary, outside of the base salary, that would make the terms and conditions of teachers more rewarding to them, we want to do that.
And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching. Government is empowering farmers to adopt a climate-smart approach in order to ensure they produce more. The Adaptation Fund program is also helping to make this a reality. Get the details in Strategic Priority Number 6, Environmental and Climate Change Resilience.
I don't think about drought. I don't think I need to worry about drought anymore, because we have the basics in place to counteract any drought you might have.
I didn't have enough what we call trench to take off a lot of the water, but the RADA personnel, they came and they showed me what went wrong, and so I put in the drainage and so on, and so far it has been good.
In recent times, producers of farm crops have been affected by harsh, extended periods of dry weather conditions, even drought. Too often, the effect has been damage to crops and loss of income. On the flip side, these same farmers are sometimes forced to watch their crops wash away under the onslaught of heavy rains. To help farmers withstand these climate-related hazards, vulnerable farming communities were targeted to modify their approach to farming and adapt climate-smart best practice methods. The Ministry of Agriculture is leading this intervention through the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program, the GOJ-AFP. With over $250 million in funding, farmers have been trained in climate-resilient methods and land conservation. Water harvesting and improved irrigation systems were also provided. So far, the program is finding huge success in the target parishes of St. Thomas, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, Manchester, St. Catherine and Clarendon.
The need for a climate change adaptation program is really present with us. It is a clear and present need. We have to therefore build our resilience to the impact of climate change so that we can survive, we can become competitive, and we can establish and engage in sustainable agricultural enterprise to feed our country.
And these measures are continuing in the 2015-2016 fiscal year. $30 million in grant funding have been allocated for the establishment of rainwater harvesting and small-scale irrigation systems.
These include the rehabilitation of ponds, reservoirs, giving support to protected agriculture such as greenhouses and such like.
These should put farmers in a better position to produce during periods of droughts and maintain a continuous supply of produce all year round.
In the past, it was always difficult to get water to crops. We have the tanks, but you have to manually carry water to wherever on here to go water a plant. With the addition of this irrigation system, you can take the water to the plant. So it allows that freedom to plant a lot more, knowing the water is available.
As we said earlier, rainfall can be equally damaging to farm crops. So another key focus area of the GOJ Adaptation Fund program is water management. The Agriculture Ministry is getting support from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the National Irrigation Commission, and the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. Together, they are providing farmers with training to install water catchment facilities, which will help to divert the flow of water to a central storage area for reuse. This should prevent soil erosion and loss of crops.
We also will be ramping up the land husbandry component, where we provide grants to a number of small farmers, helping them to implement climate-smart land husbandry best practices on their individual holdings.
For this, $44 million has been provided to secure seedlings and facilitate planting and soil management techniques this fiscal year. $8 million is also being used to support other soil erosion activities.
The overarching objective of these activities are, one, to build their resilience against the impact of climate change; two, to improve their livelihood, to help them to build a sustainable enterprise or sustainable farming activities where they can maintain themselves, their families. The feedback has been tremendous. It has been tremendous. We have seen where farmers are giving testimonials as to what the project has helped them to achieve.
It is this level of practical application that is enabling a climate-resilient agriculture sector, changing the mindset of farmers and building their capacity to produce, even in the face of adverse weather conditions.
Jamaica's beauty is our duty. Prevent bushfires during the windy, dry season. Remove firewood, dried grass, or bush away from your house. Never use fires to clear land. Never light a fire in an open area when it's windy. Ensure cigarette butts, matches, or other lighting materials are out before disposal. And use an ashtray. Don't throw cigarette butts out of your window. High winds and dry conditions can be a fiery combination. Lend a hand. Protect our land from fires.
The Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP, has been up and running and major things are happening. It has been the key to providing the youth and unemployed with training and employment opportunities. Get some more information right now.
The Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP, is one of government's vehicles for countering chronic unemployment among Jamaicans, particularly those in lower socio-economic groups. People with special needs, those with low skill levels, and those from underserved communities have been benefiting.
The JEEP is rolling and rolling well. And JEEP have a driver.
In its journey across the island, JEEP has been making welcoming stops in various communities, where it has set out to mobilize infrastructure development and create jobs.
JEEP have done so much project across Jamaica that we all must be proud of. For the 3 years, JEEP were able to do over 1,000 road projects. If a community didn't have an asphalt road and they were walking into mud, and you have an asphalt road now, I think that the life of the community changed. When you put in a road into a community, people want to move back into a community. Where you didn't have houses, you are having houses now.
Rehabilitative work on community roads, bridges and sidewalks, as well as other public structures, are noticeable features of JEEP. As part of making those happen, $50 million was allocated under the JEEP component of the Major Infrastructure Development Program, the MIDP. 20,000 people were targeted for employment, and small contractors and residents within the communities found jobs. At the end of the 2014-2015 fiscal year, over 200 projects across the island, which started in JEEP Phase 3, were completed at a cost of $693 million. These employed over 4,000 people. The fourth phase of the JEEP began in October 2014, and 278 projects are being implemented. A combined $1.63 billion has so far been spent in phases 3 and 4, including $140 million spent on small projects done through the parish councils.
So far, the figure that we have for short-term employment is about 55,000. And the number is growing.
During the last fiscal year ending March 2015, over $250 million was also spent to build houses for needy families. This joint GOJ Food for the Poor Wooden Housing Units project was financed by the Petra Carib Fund. West Rural St. Andrew is one of the areas benefiting under the JEEP, with $105 million spent on repairing roads. Among them, the Boone Hall Road, rehabilitated at a cost of $14.45 million.
There's about 730 meters of road. There was a problem where you have water coming from the hillside, and we have to put in some French drain there to take away the water into the major drain.
The Airy Castle Roadway in Stony Hill is on the list of roads in St. Andrew being repaired in a similar fashion. Sections of the Golden Spring, Mount Airy, Brandon Hill, Mount Zion and Coakley roadways are also part of the program.
This is encouraging. Today is a further expression of the government's intent to treat with the infrastructure problems of the country, and in this case with West Rural St. Andrew.
The JEEP is also in Clarendon, where a number of community facilities have been benefiting from upgrading works. Among them, the Lionel Town Post Office, Kellett's Skills Training Center, and the Pennants Community Center and Post Office.
Overall, the TREAT project totaled $23 million at Kellett's, Pennants, and here at Lionel Town.
These are among 21 projects financed through the Petra Carib Fund to the tune of over $110 million.
Over 1,500 persons have been employed on the project under Petra Carib Special Community Facilities Project.
Residents of Peckham in Clarendon are happy for the JEEP. Work on their multipurpose community centre is progressing. It got off the ground last year with an initial funding of about $4.5 million from the Tourism Enhancement Fund. The centre will facilitate meetings, skills training, and a bamboo craft cottage industry, among other community projects.
There was no road to the centre,
And when you have function here, and if there's rain, there was mud to lead into the community center, and I've taken the decision that we need to have the road right into the center, where we're putting a ramp also for those disabled people who have to use a wheelchair.
The rural residents are celebrating their rehabilitated roads, some of which are getting asphalt for the first time. Bashi Road in Belfield, central Manchester, which was done at a cost of $3.56 million, and Woodlawn Crescent in Royal Flat are among those which were officially opened in February 2015.
We look forward, hopefully, to many more road openings as the NWA and Jeep continue their good work.
Other thoroughfares, such as the Old Porus, Old Kendall and Long Hill roads, are also getting attention under the Jeep. The Gravel Lane and Wishbish roads in northwest Clarendon were also improved to the tune of over $13 million. These represented a catalyst for further community development.
One of the things that I'm very proud of today, when you travel on this stretch of road to even the bottom, the type of development was taking place you would never believe before. People are building and building more.
As in many other areas where Jeep is in motion, schools and businesses, particularly farmers and produce vendors in Hazelwood, are satisfied with the ease and comfort in which they can now move about.
Most of us could roll back the curtain of now and then and remember how the road was and what it is today. We don't have to fret about our shoes heel anymore. We don't have to put plastic bag on our shoes, on our feet anymore when there is rain.
The Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP, making a positive difference in the lives of Jamaicans, creating employment, transforming communities.
Mapping Jamaica's Diaspora Project, building a database on the human, financial and technological resources of Jamaicans abroad, helping government to connect with Jamaicans in the diaspora for mutual development. Jamaicans living overseas are encouraged to sign up now. Spread the word to family and friends abroad. To take the survey, visit mapjadiaspora.iom.int. Information shared will be kept strictly confidential. Let's work together for our mutual growth and prosperity.
For the month of June, you will be hearing a lot of talk about road safety. After all, it is Road Safety Month. Please, don't turn a deaf ear to this information because the importance of being cautious on the road at all times cannot be overemphasized.
Seems like it was yesterday when I saw your face. You told me how proud you were, but I walked away.
Many Jamaicans say they would never commit suicide, but some of us are attempting to do just that each day, and we don't even know it.
I would hold you in my arms, I would take the pain away.
We avoid the warning sounds in our vehicles, break the road rules, and ignore the many road safety appeals.
Last year alone, 330 persons died as a result of traffic crashes. Since 2001, 4,791 precious Jamaicans have been needlessly killed.
According to statistics from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport Works and Housing, excessive speeding is one of the major causes of road fatalities in Jamaica.
There are three basic speed limits in this country in built-up area, 50 kilometers. But with a proviso that in school zones there has to be a reduction in that speed. On the highways or the major roads it is 80 kilometers, and on the highway specifically the east-west
Highway 2000, not the north-south link. The east-west, it is 110 kilometers per hour.
Every time a driver exceeds the required speed limit, they increase their risk of being involved in a car crash.
In every crash, there are 3 collisions that we are going to experience. First collision is a vehicle collision.
Vehicle collisions cause the exterior of the vehicle to be crushed. Fortunately, most modern cars are designed with crumple zones to absorb some of the energy in a collision so as to reduce the maximum force felt by the occupant. Human collision happens when persons continue to move toward the point of impact until the moving vehicle comes to a stop. An unrestrained occupant will hit the inside of the vehicle, such as the window or windshield. A restrained occupant, however, suffers less impact if they were using safety devices like a seatbelt.
The final collision, which is the one that will determine whether or not you survive. And it is the one that creates the serious injuries. The internal organs collision. Any speed the vehicle is going, that's the speed your eyes, your nose, your ears, your kidney, your liver, your spleen, your pancreas, your lungs, your rib cage, your intestines. That's the speed everybody traveling, your brain also.
So how can road users reduce such gruesome road fatalities? I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Slow down. Slow down for your own life. Slow down for the lives of your passengers. Slow down for the lives of other road users. Just slow down.
Lowering your speed isn't the only thing to do to be road smart. You should also install and wear your safety devices.
Newton's laws of motion are for real. They are not a respecter of persons. The body at rest will stay at rest. A body in motion will stay in motion unless there is some unbalanced force that comes to redirect you. It's the collision that causes that redirection. When a collision occurs, everybody moves in that direction where the force is coming. So the force is coming from the handle, coming forward, that's where everybody is going to move. The seatbelt now is made to restrain you, keep you in the seat. Every child should be in a child seat. Once they have outgrown that, because it depends on the weight and the size of the child, right? So they should be in a child seat. So kids, newborn kids up to about 2 years old, they should be in a child seat. If they are so big, they're getting so big, you might need to take them out and put them in a booster seat to get them a bit higher so that they can fit in the seat belt. Another critical road user that has been problematic for us is the motorcyclists. 65 died last year. 65 males. These crashes could have been prevented. These deaths could have been reduced had they decided to wear their helmet. Helmet must be worn at all times, and also the proper helmet, not the chimney helmet, right? One with the internal padding there to absorb the energy when the helmet hit the asphalt.
While we carry out our individual efforts to be safer on the road, know that the government is also playing its part in making our roadways safer for all.
The ministry is working with the National Road Safety Council and the Road Traffic Unit. We have been doing a lot of initiatives. The major one is the public education program. We have also been working with other stakeholders such as the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and we have been requesting as a result of their membership in the National Road Safety Council for them to have increased presence.
For more information, call the Road Safety Unit. Remember, road safety begins with you.
I would hold you in my arms.
Please send your thoughts about today's program to our Facebook and Twitter pages. Do you want to see what else the GIS has been talking about? Then check out the programs on our website and YouTube channel. And be amongst the first in the know. Download the GIS News app from the Google Play Store. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Continue to create a life without limits every day.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.